So if you can do one more rep, one more pull up, whatever it is you're doing in the exercise, I personally believe it can transcend to life. You can also do one more engagement, one more podcast like yourself, one more minute of editing. Like, it pushes you to have that kind of mindset. If you can put a lot of pain and effort on your body every day, life gets much easier. You get more disciplined. I'm much more resilient, and I deal much more with my mental issues better because I now take it like a workout. Yeah, I really don't care about the gains, to be very sincere. For me personally, I think it's just a bonus. I really do this thing for the mind because I realized, as I've said, the more you do hard things, life gets much easier. You believe in yourself more, you are more confident.
Welcome back to the Shujaa Fitcast. My name is Kanyeki Kamawe. I'm the founder of Shujaa Fitness, and we are here today again to have more conversations surrounding fitness to hopefully inspire you to live a fitter, healthier, and happier life. We are doing this through exploring different fitness stories out there from fitness professionals on all levels, whether it's nutrition, exercise, mindset, and even enthusiasts. Thank you so much to everyone who's been a part of the show so far. Today we have another guest with us who is going to share his journey with calisthenics, which is something we haven't had someone talk about yet on the show. So karibu George to the show. George is into calisthenics, and he's had his own transformation journey with that, and he'll share a bit more about that with us. George, karibu sana.
Thank you.
And tell us a bit about yourself, how you got into fitness in the first place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much actually for giving me a chance to come and speak to people and to at least inspire them. I got into fitness maybe 2 years ago, but it was very on and off. Then I used to do a CrossFit. I used to do calisthenics 3 days, then 2 days at the gym. And I grew quite big. Then I stopped working out because I had initially started a business, and it was really draining me. So I didn't have the time to work out and at least do the workouts on a consistent basis. So I lost all my gains in a period of like 6-7 months. Then I now, on September last year, is when I now decided, I think this is the time to maybe start. Then I got chickenpox.
Wow.
I'd never gotten chickenpox. So it really ravaged me actually. Then
it can be deadly when you
when
get it
you're
as
older.
an adult.
It's actually very serious.
Yeah.
But it wasn't so bad for me.
Okay.
Then beginning of the year is when I now said I have to now start. So that's when I started. So I started initially with pure calisthenics because one, I didn't still have the time to go to the gym. And two, I thought the gym is slightly expensive, especially for people who might not have that kind of income on a regular basis. So I thought, why not just give calisthenics a chance? And because it's inexpensive, it just uses you as the form of weight. And yeah, that's where I started from. Yeah.
What is it that even gave you the initial drive to working out? Even that time before, when you say you lost your gains, was it just, were you an unhealthy person before? What even like inspired you to start?
When I started then, I just wanted to, one, grow bigger, and also to see what my body can do. Okay. It wasn't anything deep. Yeah. Then I also had I've also really been watching these YouTube videos online, and I really wanted to do the things that those guys are doing. That was my main influence then. But now actually the main reason I even started was for my mind. I realized, and I've been saying this a lot also on my social media posts, and I've been saying that if you can force yourself to do hard things every day, especially on your body, life gets easier. Yeah, because you're putting your body through stress knowingly and intentionally. So if you can do one more rep, one more pull-up, whatever it is you're doing in the exercise, I personally believe it can transcend to life. You can also do one more engagement, one more podcast like yourself, one more minute of editing. Like, it pushes you to have that kind of mindset. And that's what I'm trying to chase.
Yeah. That's really huge. And
Yeah.
that's another thing I really appreciate about fitness and what it's done for me, because for me, when I started, it was purely what do you call it, vain. It was vanity. It was like, I just want to look better, I want to look good in a t-shirt, I want to look good shirtless, whatnot. So you watch a lot of content, you see what people do, how do you do this, how do you do that, and the more I got into it, you go through the motions of learning and failing, and then it reaches a point, I think, where you don't realize that you're getting that extra benefit of, hold up, every time I go to the gym and when I'm done, I feel good, I feel relaxed. Over time, I feel like I'm able to deal with my mental stuff a lot better. I'm more resilient with life, and that's been, it kind of creeps in, because initially a lot of us are just like, I want a big chest, I want big arms, it's like, so I think it's a very crucial aspect to it. So what is it that made you, so like you said that calisthenics was for you because it's the ease of access, it's simple enough. Do you have anything against the gym, or what's your perspective on that?
Personally, I have nothing against the gym or any other form of exercise. I just think that calisthenics resonated much more with who I was and who I am currently. And that's about it. So for me personally, I don't like the gym because I feel like I'm incompetent there. Especially when it comes to certain exercises, because I don't know how to do a lot of things in the gym. Let me even give you an example, like the rows. I'm very poor at those kind of things. So I realized, let me just work on the strengths that I have. Focus on the strengths, and maybe now try and do a CrossFit as time goes by, as I now get used to the calisthenics in itself. Because the good thing about calisthenics is it builds a good frame for you to now start weightlifting. Yes. So that's why I started off with calisthenics first. Hopefully maybe I will now transition into the gym, but I really want to do much more of calisthenic stuff so that I can be able to be much more stronger. Not that gym people are not strong, but I want to be in touch with my own body weight, to be able to do great strengths of feet like the planche or the human flag, the L-sit, such kind of things. Those are the things I'm actually targeting. And I know if I maybe go to the gym, it might be harder for me to achieve the same.
That's really, I feel like you've approached it from a very mature angle. Because I think for me, later, like maybe I can't remember exactly how long, but it took me a while to incorporate a lot of bodyweight exercises into my regimen, because I do incorporate them. Things like pull-ups, push-ups. Of course, before I started working out, when I would play sports in high school, you do push-ups, sit-ups, but I think when you get into the gym, there's that temptation of just machines weights and stuff. So when I started working out in a gym, I would focus a lot more on that. But now when I started incorporating things like pull-ups, I was like, wow, my back is actually changing. Push-ups are an amazing way to still get a good chest workout, or even doing them as a superset. Like, there's just ways to incorporate calisthenics even as a gym person, which I personally still embrace a lot even today. And I think it makes a huge difference. Another thing is something you said about building your foundation first. And I think that's very important, and it's something that not a lot of people who start off gym want to necessarily hear, because people want to jump into weights
straight.
It's like I want to deadlift the heaviest, what but it's really important, because that's something that I experience with bodyweight exercises. It's the best way to be in touch, like you said, that was a key word, is to be in touch with your body. Before you even learn how to, like you're saying, rows are difficult for you, but someone who started off gym doing rows before they did pull-ups at home enough or wherever, they'll have a harder time connecting with their back when they do the rows, So, but someone like you know what your back should be feeling. So it ends up being an easier transition, a more functional transition as well. So what I've noticed about looking through like your journey, which you've posted online so far, is that this is still very new for you.
Yes.
Generally, right? You've not been doing it for a year yet?
No, I've actually been doing it for 3 months, 4 months now. I started in January officially. So I've been doing it since January till now. So it's still quite new, because this is the first time I've been this consistent, because I normally work out 6 days a week. Then I rest on Sunday. So this is the first time, I think, actually in my life that I've been consistent with workout. And I actually clap for myself every day for that, because it's hard.
It is hard. Consistency is the hardest part of it all. But in those few months, you've been able to see a lot of
massive change. When I posted the initial post, I was just showing people my progress. I don't know what happened that I decided to post, because I never post such kind of things. But I remember when I wanted to start off in September, I posted where I was currently, like how my body is. And I told people that, hi everyone, this is how I look now. I'm trying to get back into workout, and hopefully maybe things will change. So now when I now posted it in April this year, it was just to showcase what happened after I started working out. So I never intended for it to go viral, actually. I was just doing it just to show other people what you can achieve with bodyweight exercises. So that's what now landed me the feature on the paper, and at least the Twitter post did quite a few rounds online. I even got a feature with the Tuko News.
Oh, okay, cool.
So for me, it's quite new, all this.
What do you think is resonating with the people who have been attracted to your story so far? What do you think is the main?
One, I think obviously is the change, like the initial George before and the after. George now. That's one. And two, the fact that I had mentioned that I've never gone to a gym to achieve this. So at least I'm sure people are actually shocked, because a lot of Kenyans, at least if you ask them about working out, they always think about either one, running or the gym. It's never something else. So it's actually good that you've opened up a platform like this for people to understand different forms of exercise and how they can actually tap into them and express themselves better. Yes,
that's really, that's true. That's actually the main reason for us having these conversations. And I think something that I think also the timing of just how, with what we went through globally with Corona and everything, people realizing, I think that general sense of fitness is either running or gym was really challenged during Corona. And so I think now when people see now someone getting the results, it's kind of like sinking in more. It's like, oh, okay, so it's real. It's like it's really happening. So what are some of the, how did you approach your calisthenics journey? So for anyone who might not know, calisthenics is just pretty much bodyweight exercise.
It's just bodyweight exercise.
So how did you approach your routines? Did you have guidance? What did you research? How did you?
Okay, at least I knew some things before, but when I was now starting out, I just went online, searched about, for example, calisthenics leg exercises. Then I go through like a couple of like maybe 10 videos. Then I actually picked the hardest.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that was my style. So I went to several videos for different muscle groups, and that's how I picked now the exercises. Then I started out, but I realized very fast that when I started out, I was actually poor at form and even poor at doing the exercises. So I really struggled, especially for the first 1 and 2 weeks. But where I work out from, I met a student. Oh, I forgot to mention, I run a stationery shop.
Okay.
And I sell stationery items to universities, to students. So while I was working out one of the days, I met a student who was doing what I wanted to do. So that's how I joined up with him. And we started now working out together. So I now fed off him, especially in the beginning stages, because I was really poor. And
he had been doing it for a while?
For a long time, I think a year or so. So it was quite very good and strong. Yeah, so that's how I started off. But I researched on YouTube, and I would urge everyone to at least research a couple of videos online, because everything is there. It's just for you to distill what can work best with you, because you know yourself better.
And what are the main benefits you think so going back to being in touch with your body, what are some of the other benefits of calisthenics that you would say?
In my own opinion, I think the benefits of calisthenics is 1, yes, being in touch with your own body weight. 2, you're less stiffer as compared to the gym. Because I've noticed a lot of gym workouts make you so big and stiff, and you can't maybe stretch some stretches. For example, I recently saw a video of a gym guy trying to touch his back and he couldn't do it. So that's what I can say.
What I would say about that, because I know that's a prevailing narrative, but I think what I've found is it's usually what happens is that people go to the gym and they don't emphasize a holistic approach to it. So most of the times, or a lot of times, when people go to lift weights, that's all they do. Then they end up with that stiffness because they're working out one range of motion. And then a lot of people, let's say your range of motion is supposed to be from here all the way out, but people are only here. So your range of motion is short. Just pumping the muscle, and it's something that I say so many times on this platform, which is bodybuilding has been, when it comes to fitness, bodybuilding is the stereotype that a lot of us have in the back of our minds. When you say fitness, people think bodybuilder automatically. And usually the approach of bodybuilding, they just want to pump the muscle. That's the goal. And that's what will get you what you want. So I think a lot of times that's what's been publicized. Then people now copy and paste, and then you end up having a lot of stiff people. Of course, now more and more you're starting to see bodybuilders who are emphasizing like, no, we're not stiff. We can do our splits. They even do splits during their routines, And it's like, I can still do my calisthenics and be a bodybuilder. So there's a bit of that happening now. But I think because in the past, people would just focus on, I just do bench press and squats, and then I have a short range of motion. But now with more information, which is what we're trying to do here, is people are now emphasizing, mobility is important. You should not be stiff. So I think these kind of conversations are important because it's how that mentality changes.
So that's 1. 2, as you've said, mobility. In my own opinion, calisthenics, practicing calisthenics on a regular basis allows you to increase your mobility and flexibility. Then the third, which for me is my main goal actually, I want to be able to achieve feats of strength like the planche, the human flag. I personally think you can but it's easier to do it from a calisthenics background as compared from a gym background, in my own opinion.
Because that's the style of training that gets you there.
Yes. So those I can say is my main benefits from calisthenics, and also just the mind. The mind is really the essential thing as to why I even work out in the first place. Yeah.
And so your 6 days of working out, what does that look like for you?
I start off with arms, chest, shoulders and back, core, legs. Then I normally repeat either legs. I repeat one of each every week. So for example, if I started with arms, then I'll repeat arms this week. Then next week I'll do chest. I'll repeat. Yeah. So that's how it is. So
generally you're doing majority of your muscle groups you're hitting once a week, except one.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. And but I normally work out over and above now what I do, because I work out in the evening at 5. But in the morning when I wake up, I normally do now the extras. I do extras in the morning when I wake up, immediately when I wake up, and at night when I get at home.
What does extras mean?
The extras is I do 130 pull-ups every day, 30 Bulgarian squats, 30 calf raises, 20 pike push-ups, and 30 CC squats.
These 130 pull-ups, how are you doing them?
I'm doing them 65 in the morning, 65 in the evening. Then I break them down into 10 or 12 reps. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wait, so let's say now you've started Monday.
Yes.
And you're starting with arms.
Yes.
So that's your main workout for the day.
In the evening.
But in the evening. Yeah. But in the morning, you'll start with your pull-ups.
Yes. Those
your
that
Bulgarians.
Yes.
Okay, so you're essentially doing full body almost every day. Every day, basically.
Yeah.
So now the arm workout later that day, are you doing anything for arms in the morning as well? Directly? No. So then that's just a dedicated intense arm workout. Let's say for example a day when you're doing back, you've done your morning pull-ups. Your back workout later that day, what does it look any different, or how do you...
Okay, it's very different because now I add more things, like now the pikes, more intense stuff. Yeah, but the extras are very essential because I realize sometimes if you get too busy and you fail to do the main exercise in the evening, the extras can now compensate you. So I never miss the extras.
Okay.
Ever.
It's interesting. So I'm finding it interesting that you're calling them extras, but they're like the staple. So how are you thinking about that? You know what I mean? Like, because you're saying like you might miss your arm workout later.
Yes.
But this morning I have to do it.
I have to do it, yes.
So it's almost like that's the actual main...
Okay. The reason why it's not the main is because it's not intense. And it's not heavy. Okay, at least for me currently. Okay, when I was starting out it was heavy, but now at least I'm getting used to it as time goes by. But these main ones are the ones that I do in the evening. But the ones I do in the morning and evening, those ones are a must. Whether I'm sick, whether I'm not sick, that one is a must.
I think that's a very... That's a cool concept because I have been looking into frequency a lot lately, especially because like life-wise I've gotten really busy. So I've been challenged in terms of getting my workouts a lot. So I've had to really adjust here and there. So it's my time has had to reduce. Meaning I've had to make sure I get as many workouts as I can because now my intensity is going down, right? Yeah. So, and what I've noticed, and it's something that I had listened to another professional talk about in terms of frequency, which is someone who's able to do many moderate workouts throughout the week is a lot better off than someone who'll do maybe 1 or 2 really intense workouts in a week. You know, I think overall you're better off doing what you're doing, which is I do my even if you are to stick to that, especially for a beginner, if you are to stick to that, what you're calling extras, but making sure you're doing your 6 days, you'd be so much better off. Because I think a lot of times people want to go full force from the beginning. Yeah, they want to do that evening level intensity 6 days a week, but it's not. It
gets very tiring actually. And I'm also trying to research on, is this the right way of doing it? Because sometimes I plateau in the sense that the body just refuses. However much I try, it just refuses to do. So I'm just left now with the extras. Yeah, sometimes.
In terms of just exhaustion?
Exhaustion. Okay. I get quite tired sometimes, but it's very rare. But normally what I do when that happens is I just take a rest of 2-3 days. Yeah. Then when I come back, I'm so strong.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I can say if for a beginner, I would advise them to do not what I'm doing, maybe at least the extras. That would be a good way to start off. Then after some time, maybe 2-3 weeks, you can now start the evening or the morning ones, the intense ones, and you don't do so many sets. Just do a little reps, but you make sure you finish. Yeah.
And so in line with the exercise, are there, now that you're going deeper into this lifestyle, what are some of the other things you've been addressing around your fitness that are helping you make progress?
One, I recently went to look for a weighted vest because I realized the challenge with calisthenics is it's not like the gym. The gym you can now do the progressive overload. Yeah. In calisthenics, you can't. It's very hard to do that unless now you add weights.
1,000 reps or something.
Yes, 1,000 reps, which maybe you don't have the time to do that. So I now went to shop for a weighted vest. And I actually got one, and it's quite nice. And that's what I want now, to see how long it will take me to at least get used to it and all that. So I'm trying now to add progressive overload in some of the exercises, especially leg exercises, because I realized also calisthenics, people who practice calisthenics also maybe intentionally ignore the legs.
It's an argument online constantly.
Intentionally, or I don't know why they ignore the legs.
Somehow they just always get ignored.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm now trying to at least add progressive overload for that. That's one. And two, nutrition. I'm now eating better. I can say I eat quite better as compared to what I used to eat before.
What did you use? What's the transition? What did you eat like before? What do you eat like now?
Before I started working out, I used to eat anything. Just anything. I didn't have I can't eat this. But now there are things I can't take, like sugar, soda, sometimes. But sugar, at least I don't take it, or I really minimize it. Cooking oil. I actually use lard.
Okay.
It's called lard, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, lard. Yeah, more veggies. I never used to take so much veggies. More meat. I now eat meat regularly, much more than I used to before. Yeah, I'm now more conscious of what I take. But I'm not so conscious to the extent I see calisthenics exercise gurus where they go and even measure the calories and all that. I'm not yet there. Okay. And I actually wouldn't want to go all that way. I think it's too much. It's too much pressure. Yeah. In my own view.
I think everyone has their comfort zone. Because even personally, I don't think I've ever measured my food like that before. I think everyone has I guess for some people it might be necessary, or maybe they just need to have the data so that they can move forward. But what about things like sleep, hydration? Okay. Is that something that you've consciously also addressed?
Nowadays I drink more water than what I used to. I never even used to care about water. Now I actually make a conscious decision to drink more water every day. Then I realized also every time that I don't sleep well, I really struggle the next day working out. So when I get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, I'm perfect to work out the next day. If I don't, it's usually a problem. So I like the way, which is good, I like the way when you work out, your body responds to certain things, and it tells you, by the way, this is wrong. I don't like this. Kindly do this, this, and this. So it's nice that you're having an exam which you have the answers to. Yeah. Because the body tells you.
Yeah.
There are certain foods when I now eat nowadays, I get bloated. I never used to get bloated before.
Yeah.
So now I'm listening more to what my body is telling me.
Yeah.
Which is something I never used to care.
Yeah, I think it's really, that's another thing. So I feel like there's a list of these intangibles when it comes to fitness, and it's stuff I really enjoy hearing other people's experience. And that's another thing, which is, and we've talked about it here before, which is being able to listen to your body, which is, it's not an experience that if you're not into fitness, you can't, I don't know if you can really experience it.
Can't,
it's harder. We were actually talking about this with regards to aches and pains before, with Anto actually. And we were saying how there are times when throughout the day, if let's say, for example, right now I'm sitting and you start to get tight, a lot of people don't know that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm feeling. You know, so maybe they might start shifting, but they're not thinking like, I'm shifting because I'm now getting tight. I need to stand or whatever. Maybe subconsciously you'll feel like you want to stand, but over time, there's things that happen to our bodies that we're usually not conscious about, and then down the line you get knee pains or back pains, and then you're like, like I suddenly have back pain. But it's like, it wasn't sudden. It's been a long journey. And I think when you start your fitness journey and you go through the processes, when you really start to understand, what does my body like, what doesn't it like, when am I at my best, what not. And just like you're saying, there are times when you don't sleep well, you see the direct impact.
Influence,
But some people will sleep badly and go to work and they won't realize they're not able to focus because they didn't sleep properly.
Yeah, that's true.
So what have been some of the other side effects, let's say, of being into your fitness journey outside of,
the fitness itself, now in life generally? One, which I think is very essential, it makes you very disciplined, which is something I've really been trying to chase, discipline. Because when you tell yourself, I'll do this today, and you do it, one of the things it does, it adds on to your own self-confidence. So you believe in yourself much more. That's one. Two, people believe in you now because they now see you doing things that you said you would do. So, for example, if I come and tell you, by the way, I'm going to buy a car tomorrow, people are now more concerned because they know this guy can actually go and do exactly what he's saying. That's one. And I think for me, that's my main thing that I've really gained, discipline in this realm. Because as I had mentioned, if you can put a lot of pain and effort on your body every day, life gets much easier. You get more disciplined. I'm much more resilient, and I deal much more with my mental issues better because I now take it like a workout. I normally tell myself, maybe it's for this season, itaisha tu kama ile tizi nafanyanga. Maybe rep ni ngumu lakini ndamaliza tu. So discipline, more self-respect, you're more self-aware. That's all I can say. And also you make better decisions. For example, I know I need to work out tomorrow, so most likely I wouldn't go out drinking today, you see. So you make the right decisions, at least as pertaining to where you want to go and what you're doing.
Do you think it's impacted some of the people around you as well?
Yes. Actually now people take me much more seriously from what I've seen, at least. that's something I've actually noticed. Then now I'm associated with working out, so people actually now call me and text me, by the way, unaweza links by the way, what do you think about this and this? So it's a good feeling to see that you're now associated with something nice that can actually help people. So that's what I can say.
Do you see yourself transitioning into maybe training others at some point? Is that something you foresee for yourself?
At first, when all this blew up, I didn't want to, because I didn't know, those who are uncharted waters, I didn't know how it works, how people engage. But I'm slowly maybe thinking of it. I'm still not very open about it because I've never done it. But maybe with time, as time goes by.
Yeah, for sure. It's just been 3 months.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to sit here with you at this point, because it's like, I think you're the youngest in fitness that we've had.
Okay, that's so nice.
Far. Yeah, because everyone has been, I think most people have been approaching 10 years. For me, it's been 10 years plus. Most people, it's been like 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, so this early stage is so, it's for someone like me, I think back at it with so much fondness, because there was so little I knew. I was trying different things, and also the talk about the gains and how fast they come in your first few months, because I think another thing is your transition, your before and after, I think has a lot to do with the fact that you're just beginning too. Because usually the beginning stage is when you see the most gains. Yeah, then ahead, down the line is now when you start to get tested. It's like your arm is not going to grow much after this. It's like, so do you really want to do this? Yeah, it's like that season is over now. Let's now play with diet and sleep and maybe those other things. But exercising is not giving you much else. But you're still in that sweet spot where you're seeing upward progress, which is,
for me, by the way, and I'll say this without with the honest truth, I really don't care about the gains, to be very sincere. For me personally, I think it's just a bonus. I really do this thing for the mind, because I realized, as I've said, the more you do hard things, life gets much easier. You believe in yourself more, you're more confident. I'm really hoping that I'll be doing this also in the next 10 years, because I normally don't want to think about the 10 years.
Of course.
Because I usually just think about, I'll still be working out next week.
Yeah.
And I just die. I don't, personally, I hate working out with a passion.
Okay.
I hate it.
Interesting. Okay.
Very much. When I, like, for example, when I was now working out with my friend, every time I saw his call, not this again.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to fight my own inadequacies through working out. So for me, it's not really about the gains. The gains are just by the way.
Okay.
And also I'm trying to build the mental fortitude I want to maybe hopefully transition into martial arts. Because also calisthenics is a good basis for martial arts. And with the hope of maybe doing Muay Thai or kickboxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very, so that's interesting that I don't know if I would have survived fitness if it was just mental for me. I needed the vanity. I'll be honest, I needed the vanity. Like, I was like, if my arm doesn't grow, this thing is not for me. Like that's, the beginning stages for me was very, and then it was college days. It's like, yo,
Plasma test.
Yeah, man, it's like all these other dudes out here bigger than you. These girls, anyway. But that's very, and I think I kind of see where you're taking it, because now with martial arts being the next place you plan to go, I think I'm not into martial arts, but I believe from the little I know, there's a lot of the mental thing. It's not just about self-defense, right? Yeah, so that's the main thing as to why I'm doing it. But I personally don't like it, to be very honest. To be very honest, I don't enjoy it. I only enjoy after finishing. When you finish, you feel
very accomplished. But when you're doing it, it's the pits.
Yeah.
It's the pits.
You're the second person on this show to come and be like, working out sucks.
It sucks.
I just do it because I know what I'm getting after this.
Yes.
Yeah. How would you just indulge us in how you would walk with another person who hates it but hasn't done it? Someone who might be listening to this who's like, yeah, even me, I've never enjoyed it. I don't know how I'm ever going to start working out, but I know there's something good in it for me. So how would I approach beginning?
To be honest, I'll be very straight up. I think men especially, let me speak to the men first. I think you should just suck it up, to be very sincere. And you should just be able to be strong mentally, physically, and emotionally. And if working out helps you with that, it seasons you for such kind of things. So for me, I think even if you don't like it or you're fearing that you don't like it, it doesn't matter. You just have to do it regardless. For women, I would still tell them to approach it in that way, because the more you break your own promises, like you tell yourself, I'll work out tomorrow, or I'll work out next week, or I'll start next year, you'll never take yourself seriously. And it's now not about the body. Leave the vanity. Make it much more about you, how to win. Every day you do something. You go to your book and say, I tick that today I won against something that I have been struggling with. Yeah.
Is that something you do actively? You journal?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I just write the to-do
like the
list.
workout. Okay.
The to-do list, I say maybe drink water.
Oh, okay.
Work out today. Then when in the evening I come and say, tick.
Done.
Done.
Yeah.
Like Ombach.
Yeah. Done.
Done. Nasikia too fiti sana. So I personally think no one likes workout. I personally think people should please say the truth. Maybe some do.
Yeah, for someone like myself, I love it.
Some do, maybe like you.
Yeah,
but I'm sure a lot of people don't like it.
I think it's an interesting conversation because it's hard. It doesn't get easy.
It doesn't get easy.
Yeah, even when you're elite, they don't wake up and just do pull-ups smiling, like there's still a level of pain.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, so I think what happens is that thing I was saying, how the benefits creeping in, that somehow rises to the top of the list as the thing you're chasing.
Yes. So
for someone like me, when I say I love fitness, the first 10-15 minutes of exercise are the hardest thing. Always. It's never easy.
Yes.
It's always the worst. It's just my body feels slow, heavy, achy.
Then your mind is telling you why you're doing
stop.
this.
Yeah,
you're hurting us.
Exactly. So I think what happens though is that the more you do it, that thing you're saying, the contract with yourself.
Yes.
And you've built enough. Someone actually said it on this show and I've forgotten the words he used. They were so on point. He was talking about how when you build enough credit, or you say yes to the workout enough, and you build that equity with yourself where you're like, I'm not a quitter. Over time, you saying no to the workout gets harder. Yeah, and it just becomes a situation where you're like, you've built enough understanding to know that this is not about how I feel right now.
Yes.
And this feeling is a bit of a deception in a sense.
It's your mind playing tricks on you.
100%.
So that's why I would tell people to just suck it up, man. Because this is much more important than even the exercise itself. As you've said, it's a contract with your own self. So you make sure you sign the contract and you do the work that you've given yourself. Yeah. So it builds you much more in terms of yourself as an individual. You get a better character. Yeah, I personally believe I'm much more of a fighter now, much more than I was. I'm very persistent, by the way, especially with the things that I chase. But now I'm even much more persistent because I think maybe I've gotten now that from the exercise. Because the more you do it every single day, especially the days you don't want to, and you still do it, I look at myself like a Superman.
Yeah, it's such a huge win.
Yeah. So what I can say about the George a year ago and the George now, as regards into fitness, is my mind changed. The shift changed from just seeing what the body can do, and now much more to what the mind can do. If you believe and tone it down. Yeah.
I think about fitness like that a lot, which is why I think talking about fitness is very important.
Yes.
Because sure, we can do a workout and show people this is how you do this, this is how you do that. That's fine. But you can find that anywhere. There's literally thousands, probably even maybe
millions.
Hundreds of thousands or millions of websites and people that you can look for that stuff. A bench press will never change. But I find that being able to communicate that the why about fitness beyond the vanity, I think that's like the only entry point to being able to sustain it, which is what you're saying. You know, it's like, I don't think a lot of people really, and maybe sometimes communicating something like that is not easy. So I won't say like, why don't we do it? Although I do get frustrated sometimes because I am in the fitness industry and I'm like, and I watch what's out there and I'm like, why isn't anyone communicating that as much as we should, especially locally? Because there's too much flexing, there's too much shirtlessness and heavy, and it's too much vanity. You know, it's like, this thing, you're not going to last. You won't. Like, sorry, you're not going to last. Just like you said, you couldn't. It wasn't going to carry you through anything because it didn't mean anything. But now your second try at it is when it began to mean something more, and so you're able to see the connective tissue with your minds
and
your
to
mind
continue.
state, and
Actually, that's the main thing. When it now became more than just the workout, it now gave me more precipitous to continue. Because before I wouldn't care. The body can do what it can. That's not my problem. But now it's much more deep. So it gives me a much more deeper connection with myself than my body, than my environment.
I think if there's anyone who's listening to this who is struggling with getting into it, and of course I have a few people in mind, if they ever hear this, I was thinking about you as I was saying this, because it's like, I don't know how many ways I can tell you, but without like telling you what to eat or what to do will never get you into fitness. But sitting down with yourself to figure out why it would help you in life is probably the biggest question. It's not about which workout, which food, when, where. It's just like, why are you doing
Because I remember having a discussion with a friend of mine, and she was saying that, one, this thing seems so hard. This is not sustainable. How can you do this for the rest of your life? And she was saying that maybe should only eat well and she'll be fine. And that's a good way maybe of living healthy. But I personally think it should be much more than that. It should be much more than your abs, like having beautiful abs or strong arms. It should be like a battle between yourself and your body. It will give you much more why to do this thing, because it's hard. It's very hard. We shouldn't even be doing this, actually.
It's madness.
It's to be honest, it really is madness to some degree from a layman looking at it. Because why would you subject your body to pain and tension every single day? What are you trying to achieve? People even ask me, are you training for the apocalypse that we don't know of? And if so, why haven't you not told us?
When it's happening.
Yes. So I think much more people should change their whys. Isikwe that they're looking for the bikini body in December, or they want to fit their wedding suit or whatever. In as much as, yes, maybe that is something that you really want to, which is okay. I don't want to say that is wrong. No, maybe let me not be misquoted. But I think people should flesh out their whys, make them more fleshy, give it a reason so that you can continue when it gets hard. Just like, and I'll digress a little bit. Steve Jobs once said, in whatever you choose to do with your life in terms of an entrepreneurial journey or your passion, you have to really love it. And you have to have the why much more than anything else. And why is this? Because one day it will get very hard, very, very hard. And you'll be asking yourself the question, why am I doing this? Because this is nonsense. Why am I putting 8 hours, 10 hours into building this thing? Or why am I doing 1 hour or 2 hours into working out? Why? So the why should be so strong for you to forget the pain, or for you to push on through the pain. So the minute your why is anchored on vanity, it's very easy for you to stop. Yes. Yeah. The minute you now cut it off, like how women say, mi nataka tu utoe hapa, and I get the balm, then me I'm fine.
Good.
Okay. So when you get that, does this mean you'll stop? So those are the questions you need to continue asking yourself every time you're doing something. What is the why? What is the vision? It makes it much easier for you to continue, especially when things get hard.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very helpful. So as you're building on this journey, so I don't know if we mentioned, but you're going down this road especially because your transformation got a lot of attention.
Yes.
So even as far as your fitness journey and what that's going to look like, we don't know, because we're still at the
infancy stages.
Yeah. What's your next step? Maybe not what's the whole thing, but what's your
one, I want to see if I can do this thing consistently for a year. That's actually my biggest goal, at least for this year, because I think it's something achievable. So I want to see if I can do this consistently for 1 year and now see how that takes my body. The second thing is, since my transformation got a lot of eyeballs and now it plunged me into content creation, I also now want to see where that will go, because I've never done this before as regards to content. I normally just put out content on the things I do as a businessman and the entrepreneurial journey that I'm also trying to push. So I'm trying to see how this can fit into the bigger vision of what I'm currently doing. And who knows, maybe that can even be something. It can inspire much more people to join fitness and what's the third? I want to conquer my mind and my fear of things. And exercise, I've realized, is one of the best ways to do it. Exercise and doing and actually entrepreneurship. You can actually marry the two. They're actually brother and sister, those two. So I think I want to be able to conquer something that I wrote down. For example, as I had mentioned, I want to do the human flag. The day I do it, I don't know kama mtaipumua in Nairobi. Nitakuwa natembea mahali town na pole nafanya human flag. So I just want to conquer something. And I think that's the main precipice of man. That's why we were brought into this world, in my own view. Because even if you look at the Quran or the Bible for those different religions, the Lord God told us to go and conquer the earth and make it our own. So I believe conquering the world is giving yourself a target and a dream and going after it. regardless of what happens in between. You should never give up. Yeah, so those are my main goals.
Nice.
To follow my dreams viciously and tenaciously. Yeah, to speak about them, inspire people to at least try out what you are doing. And so I think those are my main goals as per now, as regarding to fitness. Yeah.
Nice, man. I'm glad to have caught you in the beginning stages.
Yes, at least.
Hopefully down now, once you get once you hit your 1 year mark, hopefully we can talk more about what you've learned down that line. But hopefully we'll see more from you. We support you.
Yes.
I wish you all the best. It's an amazing journey. It's really been one of the biggest shifts in my life that I can think about. It's one of the biggest personal journeys I've ever embarked on. It was, and then you see, it's something that you just picked. It wasn't school, which we all had to go to. It wasn't work, which we have to do. It's like, I wanna see where this goes, and to see what it's brought into my life thereafter. It's like, what? And now I start to think, wow, what if I was into working out from when I was 14 years old?
Where would you be?
Where would I be now? What would that have looked like? What kind of a kid can you raise when you instill fitness in them from when they can walk, So it's so huge, and I'm happy for you that you're able to actually even think as maturely as you're thinking about it right now. Because like I told you, when I started, it was just every day looking at another thing is, when you start off as a gym rat, it's like you do chest and arms every day, so it's like you're going home looking at your chest and arms. It's like, nah, we have to go. That's all you're looking at. But then now over time you learn and whatnot. But the way you're speaking about it is really, I think it's a very helpful perspective, especially for beginners too, because that's really what keeps us going. It wasn't, when my arms grew, it's not like now. It's like, of course, there is something to be said about progress. It's like you want to see some change.
Yes.
And to know that what you're doing is having an effect. But for me, over time, for 10 years, that's not what's kept me, because I haven't made that progress every year. It's impossible. But I think you're placed to be in a really fun journey if you have that kind of perspective. So looking forward to your feedback on how things go.
A question. Why did you call it Shujaa Fitness?
Hey, that's a long story. So what is a Shujaa? A Shujaa is a warrior. I think connecting it to what we've talked about actually in this episode, which is that fight against adversity, which is why Shujaa, the shield, it's like one of our hashtags is unleash the warrior in you. So it's that thing of being able to conquer the struggle, your fears, being able to fight through the pain of fitness, of life. That's kind of where, I would say that's the ethos. That's not how it came about, but a few years ago, I was going through this journey of trying to figure out my life. I had been working out for years already, but I was living abroad at the time. I studied abroad, worked abroad as well for some time. And when you're an immigrant, or when you're in the diaspora, there's its own kind of struggle. And I was going through that thing of, am I gonna go back home? Am I gonna live here? I was in Canada. I was trying to figure out. I was trying to learn more about myself, why I'm doing what I'm doing, why did I come to Canada in the first place? Because initially when I left, it was mostly just the prospects of adventure. It wasn't even a better life, to be honest. And see, the thing is, a lot of people do travel abroad for that, and it makes a lot of sense. The opportunities abroad are a lot. But I grew up fairly privileged, so I can't even say that I was looking for a better life per se. I think, and this is all hindsight. This is not that I was thinking this.
This then.
It's hindsight. I was like, because my siblings all traveled for studies, but it's because during their time, they're all much older. During their time, it was the Moi era. Things were bad in Kenya, so them they really had to go. But for me, I was just influenced because I thought, see, that's what people do. You go abroad. Yeah, to study. So it was partly that influence. And then, but looking back for me, it was mostly seeking adventure. And so you see, I started to notice that I didn't go with a strong enough why. You know, it's I don't think that... I'm not going to throw adventure under the bus because I think there's value in adventure.
There's value in adventure.
Yeah, but because I was young and that's all I was looking at it as, a lot of the struggles took a toll on me. Because you go abroad and you think you're going to live an amazing life, but you get reality, you know. It's like you get broke. You're broke abroad for the first time. Your identity is in question. You've never looked at yourself as black. So it's like... all of a sudden you're
black now.
Yeah, you're black now. You have this. You're going through identity crisis, homesickness, things you didn't think you'd go through because you are just like, Maju. It's like you know. But then now you go through life. So throughout those struggles, I'd reached a place where I reached a good place. I'd finished school, had a good job from even third year. I had gotten into the system, you know. I was just like doing what you're supposed to do. But now I reached a place where I started to question a lot about what I'm doing, self-reflection. And so I quit that job and then went down like this journey of trying to figure out what do I want for my life, because I don't think I'd really asked myself that question. You know. So in asking myself that, I was like, I've been struggling with this identity thing. What does it mean to be African, Kenyan, questioning religion, whatnot. So I started reading a lot, also trying to get more in touch with my Africanness and blackness. And that led to me now getting a tattoo at some point. One of those tattoos was a shield.
Okay. So
now, in hindsight, like when I was thinking through a logo much later on, because so fitness had been a part of all this throughout, you know. It was the one thing that
kept you together.
Yeah, throughout all the struggles, the brokenness, the identity questioning, whatnot. I'd been working out from, I'd say from half of first year, the second half of my first year in college. So when I started working out. But throughout that time, fitness has always been there to kind of like ground me and stuff. And so I wanted to link it to the real why now, you know, and now connect those two ideas of like, why is fitness important to me? It's because throughout all this time, it's been that anchoring thing. And so what I've realized about myself is that I'm able to fight through these struggles like a Shujaa. So that's, you know, so the tattoo and the logo and Shujaa, and also the reconciling my Africanness while abroad. It was a very, because a shield, I don't know, like because it's on our flag too.
Yes.
So I had a Kenyan flag with me there, so I was like looking at it and I'm like,
by the way.
Yeah. So all these things, like kinda, it's a melting pot of all that.
Okay.
So for me, that's where, but it started during COVID is when I actually started the page, whatnot, and it's been growing from there. But I can say it's always existed within me, but now during COVID is when the idea now really bloomed. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So long story long. Yeah.
Right. I personally think it's a good way of expressing whatever we've talked about, because at least when we are working out during those sessions, we are actually Shujaas, because you're actually facing the adversity, which is the workout. And I wish I would tell everyone to have that mindset whenever they're dealing with anything. You should always be a go-getter. You should not be scared. Okay, I know there are days that you get scared or you get tired, but always try and push through. 100%. One more rep, one more exercise, it will always transcend into the real world in one way or another. And most likely, as you've said, you won't notice it until you look at it in hindsight. Yeah. So I would say to everyone, kindly follow your dreams viciously. Fight for them every single day. Because one day, they'll fight for you too. And you never know where they'll fight for you. Where? You never know which door it might open. Just give it 100 in everything that you do, whether it's fitness, whether it's your work, whether it's your business, whether it's your passion, whether it's music. That's what I want to be my clarion call. Even in the fitness that I'm doing, I want people not to really, focus on the fitness, like, these are pull-ups, sit-ups, that's fine. But the main essence of this is to show people that you can do anything you tell your mind to. You just have to conquer your mind first. That's my main thing. That's what I'm trying to preach.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that's the perfect full stop to that.
Yes.
We'll be looking forward to having you once again to share more.
When I do the human flag.
Yeah, okay, nice. So in about a year, you should be ready.
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay, nice. So I give you 7 more months.
Yes.
Okay, nice. Karibu tena. Thanks for stopping by. I think this was a really cool conversation. So until the next episode, I hope you have learned something from this. Thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. Did you want to share your social media as well?
Yeah. By the way, I forgot to mention something. I have a business entity called Unique, YOU, you then Nick. And the main thing about Unique is I'm trying to tell the stories of people which are unique. Each of us has a story to tell. Okay. And each of us has come from different backgrounds, different challenges, and that's the main essence of what I do. So in the businesses that I interact in, that's what I'm trying to also preach. Yeah. So they can get me on just search Unique Man. Unique Man on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. You can get me also on Twitter, on TikTok. Yeah, so that's the main essence. To believe in your own stories, to tell it without fear, and to go for your dreams viciously.
Nice. Asante sana.
Yeah.
See you on the next episode of the Shujaa Fitcast.
Yeah.
Peace out. Thank you for listening to the Shujaa Fitcast. For more information and business inquiries, email us at shujaafitnesswarrior@gmail.com. Follow us on social media at Shujaa_fitness on Instagram, at Shujaa Fitness on Facebook and TikTok, and subscribe to our channel at Shujaa Fitness on YouTube. For audio versions of this podcast, check us out on Spotify, Boomplay, and Apple Podcasts. This show was recorded and produced at the Represented Studio in Nairobi, Kenya. Special thanks to Lucid for the background music.